Welcome to the Penny for Our Thoughts podcast, where you can get a third-party opinion on your worries, concerns, or problems. Don't keep it to yourself. Give some to us. My name is John.
And my name's Gerald, and we are your hosts for today's episode of Penny for Our Thoughts.
And again, for this week, we're joined by an amazing guest. And would you like to introduce yourself, guest?
Hello, I'm Silas, and I'm a part-time athlete and a lifelong student. And thanks for having me here today.
Awesome. Glad to have you on board.
I personally consider myself a lifelong student as well of life, you know? You know what I mean? You always got to learn.
All right, awesome. So, Silas, you probably heard our podcast. You know the deal. But instead of 3 concerns today, we'll actually have 4 concerns today, just to switch it up a little bit.
Yeah, sure thing.
I like it.
Awesome. And all we're looking for is your honest opinion. Cool. Ready to get started, both of you guys?
Let's go.
Yep.
All right. Let's get started on concern number 1. This concern is given to us by Throw RA. The title is, My girlfriend, 25, female, loves to watch me work out. It makes me, 26 male, uncomfortable. We've been dating for 2 years. I used to work out at the gym, but bought a few equipment and started to work out at home when the lockdown happened. My girlfriend thinks it's hot and checks me out and watches me. I was okay with her doing it a few times, but she does it a lot more now. It makes me uncomfortable. I honestly don't work out to look good. Working out and feeling my body hurt makes me feel really good about myself. I was in a pretty messed up spot mentally before I started to work out, and working out feels like a reminder that I'm not lazy and that I can do hard things. It helps me relax and feel better about myself. My girlfriend just sits there and watches. It makes me feel cheapened. I end up focusing on my body a lot more, and it leaves me feeling a lot less satisfied. I don't get it. Shouldn't I be happy that my girlfriend likes to watch me work out? Shouldn't I be happy that she's attracted to me? She has tried to make a move a few times, and I end up sleeping with her as she is sensitive to rejection, and it ends up screwing with my head when that happens. I don't know how to bring this up to her. I feel like it makes me feel pretty insecure, and well, I am. I don't want to hurt her feelings. I can't blame her for doing this when I haven't said anything at all. I should, but I am struggling with articulating and why I find this uncomfortable. There's been a quick update after that, and he did say that he did talk to her about this. And she's only making it about herself.
That was part of the update?
Yeah.
Making it. Is there any more elaboration on only making it about herself?
So let's say, for example, what he said was that he told her that I don't like you watching me. It makes me feel uncomfortable. It's more for like my safe space, my safe place pretty much. And she's like, well, don't you find me attractive? Like you don't like me looking at you? Like why is it an issue? Is what he said.
Thoughts?
I find that kind of odd. Like, just kind of like, it seems that she's just looking at him as entertainment more so. Nothing, there's like, it's kind of like a one-way street at that point,
Yeah.
I think.
And that's what he did mention. He feels like he feels cheapened.
Yeah, like piece of meat.
Yeah.
That is odd.
Like you said, you're a part-time athlete. You have a girlfriend and she just ogles at you while you're working out at home. What would you do?
I would definitely communicate my thoughts with that, like kind of like how he did for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But at that point, if it becomes like to a discerning point, yeah, you definitely have to like give a leeway. I'm like, why are you like fascinated by this? Come and join me. If not, like share have a shared experience with your significant other if need be.
It's an interesting point.
Yeah, and instead of just being like cheapened out by that, that's what I just find really odd. Just entertainment wise, like,
Do you find it odd that she looks at him, or do you find it odd that he gets uncomfortable?
no, not the fact that it's uncomfortable. Like anyone in the gym can get uncomfortable, like with like unnecessary stares, basically.
Right.
But with your significant other, like he should be somewhat normalized by that. But at the same time, the girl or like her, the significant other, the girlfriend, is basically just like looking at him for like entertainment. That's what I find really odd.
Does it say at all how long they've been going out?
2 years?
Yeah, I believe it says 2 years.
2 years.
We've been dating for 2 years, yeah.
Okay. I don't know, man. Personally, with my girlfriend, I think like we just have that sort of relationship where it's silly. But like I wouldn't get uncomfortable in this sort of situation, but then we have like I know she would do it as a joke. Like she wouldn't like sit there, grab some popcorn, watch me squat or but like she'd be like,
That would be pretty kind of
Yeah.
weird. Yeah.
yeah,
Oh my god.
she'd like quote unquote, she'd like jokingly hit on me. She's like, oh, working out that peach or whatever, that sort of thing.
hmm
And personally, maybe that's just my relationship, but like I wouldn't get uncomfortable just because like we just joke around like that.
Do you think it's weird that he gets uncomfortable when his girlfriend like looks at him and ogles him?
Well, he did mention that he found that it was like difficult to articulate that why or how he felt uncomfortable. It might be just him to a certain point. Like we don't know how the girl is like viewing the guy, but it's just like from his perspective, we don't know what the girl is actually doing, technically speaking.
So I think in the update he kind of touched on that. He's saying that when he works out, it's his safe space. It's his alone time, and it
Yes.
feels like it's kind of invading that privacy, right?
Yeah,
That's what he
okay.
feels like. So that he did articulate it on the update portion.
I have no problem with how he treats exercise as sort of like his temple sort of thing, his Zen area.
Yeah, that's exactly how he thinks of it.
Yeah, that's like I can completely relate to that. I guess when I work out, put headphones in, no one talk to me. What is more of a concern to me is how the girlfriend took it. She immediately made it about herself. She made it like, oh, don't you love me? I don't know if she said that, but like to that extent, right?
It's pretty much that because she said that it should be a flattering thing that I'm looking at you and I'm actually enjoying you work out and see you I guess working out and making your body look better, right? So she brought it back in the update saying that like, oh, you don't find me attractive, and the reason why she said that is because, hey, I mean, I'm looking at you, I appreciate that you're working hard to make your body the way it is. So, but then if he was attracted to her, he wouldn't say that, is what she's saying. If you got what I said, that might have been a little confusing the way it was worded, but
Yeah, I mean, I think the intention is not translated. You know what I mean? Like she may be doing it with the intent of flattering him, making him feel good. But obviously that's not how he's taking it, right? And the fact that he's trying to communicate it to her, maybe like, I don't know, I'm hoping they didn't get into like a fight or whatever about this. It doesn't sound like they did. He just tried to tell her like, hey, I'm a little bit, my space a little bit invaded. I think on that front, he should try to make it relatable to her. Like if there's something that she does for her alone time, or like, something that she prefers to be, private about, how would she feel if there was someone there, kind of invading that? Like,
Yeah, it's like a two-way street. Like
Exactly.
there's like a give and take in regards, especially like in regards to exercise within the quarantine. Like you have to be adaptable to like a different environment,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
So like that's what I still find odd, like why he's still uncomfortable especially if they're living together, or like if they have dated for like a specific amount of time for like 2 years, for example.
it seems like they are living together because she's there when he works out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So yeah, again, all in all, there's like a give and take. Like he has to get comfortable with that environment.
In his defense, I think he just started working out at home recently, so it's probably not something he's used to quite yet. I don't know. Maybe this will like
Oh yeah, there's some details on that. Yeah, I'm
Right,
not
like
sure about that.
he said he used to work out at the gym.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Where I'm assuming he didn't work out with her.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Silas made a good point though. Like, okay, you seem to love watching me so much. Why don't you come join me? Maybe you'll enjoy it as well. And at that point, he's not just a piece of meat. He'll maybe, I don't know, maybe he'll help her work out. He'll be a coach, something.
There's nothing in there about like compromising in that way, but
Yeah.
let's just assume for the sake for this that she doesn't want to work out. She's
Okay.
happy with herself, right? She
Okay.
doesn't feel like she needs to work out, right?
Okay.
Would that change your thoughts and feelings on this?
Not really. It just reminds me of the fact that he said himself he's not working out to look better.
Yeah.
So there's that disconnect there as well. He's like he's working out to make himself feel good, not for how he looks, but then he ends up changing the reason he's working out because he gets self-conscious that his girlfriend is watching him. Right?
Yeah.
That's what he said, right?
Mhm.
So
And he feels uncomfortable doing that. He
Changing.
feels like he's working out for her, right? And that's not, again, his working out is a safe space, right? It's his thing, right?
yeah,
But
it's his quiet.
now
time.
he's very uncomfortable that that's happening.
Oh, man.
All right. Well, let's say this. If he asks you and he told you this story right in front of you, and he's like, "Do you think I should break up with my girlfriend because over this?" What would you say?
Over this specifically, maybe it's just me, but I would need a little more consistency in like breaching my my like safe space sort of thing.
Mhm.
Like, how many times does it happen? Is consistent?
Yes.
Okay, well,
Because she does it in the concern. She says it all the time. She says she does it all the time.
okay, well, extrapolating into the future, like, what other boundaries is she gonna cross?
Exactly. Yeah. Especially if she's willing to like continuously do this, it could be turning into a red flag. But
And again, going back to how she handled him trying to communicate
yeah,
was just like, okay, why are you getting upset? I'm not saying you're unattractive. I'm saying I get uncomfortable when I work out.
probably especially for the guy, he's probably definitely learning something new about the girlfriend, especially in regards to this.
Yeah.
So it could be turning into a red flag. I don't know, like definitely communicate still regardless, especially if they've been dating for 2 years. Like you can still communicate, but if it becomes like
definitely.
rampant or continuous, then yeah, I'm not saying they should split up, but
Oh, well, it depends all on how much he's willing to take, right?
or if this like escalates into something else.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, point number one, he said he was working out because he was in a bad space before.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Mentally.
Or I don't know if it's because, but he was in a bad space before working out. It seemed like, I assume it's getting better for him because he's working out.
Mhm.
And that's important. Like, you should not discount the value of having that kind of release, whether physical, mental, whatever, emotional. And she seems to disrespect that. I'm assuming he communicated what he put in the post to her. He's like,
Yes,
hey, I'm
he
doing
did.
this.
He did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he did.
I'm doing this because I was in a bad spot before, and it's like, it's cathartic, it's therapeutic, and it's not that anymore if you watch me.
Yeah.
And if, like, assuming he didn't say that to her in a disrespectful way or anything like that, and she still chooses to go against that, to cross that boundary, I feel like that's a red flag.
Yeah.
Okay. There's one thing I left out in the update was that he also said that there are times that when she wants to have like sexual acts together,
Yeah.
like even if he doesn't want to, he just feels pressure to do it, so he just does it. Because if he doesn't follow through with that, she always says, "Oh, I'm not attractive enough for you. Like, why don't you want to do it?" That's another thing that was put in. I just left that out and see if where the flag goes first. Now, with that knowledge, would you break up with this girl if it happened in your position?
Yeah. That's kind of like a narcissistic personality.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Just making it about herself.
Especially if it develops into that.
When it comes down to sex, man, it's a very touchy subject. I mean, obviously, like,
Yeah.
it should be. But because of that, it's like you should be extra sensitive to that. Because, again, it bleeds into other parts of your life.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just it's like small things can like definitely be like turn into like a ripple effect, and it just like affects other parts of your life eventually. So yeah, I kind of see some red flags right there actually.
Yeah, my flag's staying red.
Yeah, you know what? I would agree with you. And just a relationship is a two-way street, right? You can't just go one way, right? And obviously he's doing a lot more. He's honestly sacrificing his own like happiness, his satisfaction and stuff like that. And if that's the case and it's only going one way, then no. I would say that it could be, it's definitely grounds for breakups. If you do decide to break up, I'm 100% for it. She should start realizing that she needs to give too instead of just take.
Yeah.
Just
100%.
because you want it and you want to see it and just because it satisfies your visual pleasure doesn't mean you should be a piece of meat that you have to do what she does. She says what she does, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so we all agree that one's a red flag.
That one's a red flag right
Agree.
there. Yeah.
Any final words to add for him?
I just all the best to him, man. I just hope this relationship, depending wherever it goes, doesn't leave him with too many scars, because that kind of behavior from a significant other can definitely leave some scars.
Final words, Silas?
Just learn from this potentially.
Just learn from it.
Yeah, and continue working out, man. Like it's what you love and helping you get into a better mental state. Do keep continuing it. Don't let this situation and this experience
Yeah.
continue forward for like the other experiences
Yeah.
in the future. So
Ultimately, like, you gotta put yourself first, right?
Yeah.
Before taking care of anyone else.
all right, great. Now onto the second concern. This is from X Sad Girl Hours. The title of this is "I feel like a loser asking this, but I need advice on making friends." Hi, let me get straight to the point and try to keep it as short as possible. I am 21 years old and I struggle with making friends. When I was a teen, it was difficult for me to make friends since I was depressed and was a truant in school. I was dealing with my own crap at home, so I didn't have the mental capacity to put effort into forming close and long-lasting friendship with people in high school. Now I'm 21 and I would consider myself friendless. I don't know why it's hard for me to make friends. I assure you I am not rude or mean to people. In fact, I'm rather a shy person that barely talks. Because I want genuine advice from you guys, I will admit that people have told me I thought you were a B word when describing their first impression of me before ever properly meeting me. I assume that's because I have a resting B word face and seems unapproachable. Anyways, I need advice on what I should do. I do have some friends, in quotations. They're all from my elementary/middle school days, but quite frankly, I believe we were only still friends because we feel obligated to, given the longevity. However, I've never felt a connection with them. Besides them, I have no one. I've even tried making internet friends on Twitter, though joining a fandom of my interest, but I guess I'm still unlikable as people don't follow me or DM me. Should I just learn how to be comfortable being alone, or do y'all have some tips on how to make friends?
Just basing off the description that she has given with her like situation, I would say, yeah, no, she's kind of can be worded as like, or described as a introvert, like one heck of an introvert. She says she's struggling to make friends, right?
Yes.
She did take some steps directly towards like, especially joining her fan groups, especially finding other people who are interested in her own hobbies and such. But to be sociable and everything, you have to keep on pursuing that, I would say. It seems that she's trying to give up, or she already has given up, but like is just making half-assed efforts directly towards like a social group. But at the same time, I don't know.
I think you touched on something important there, is that her hobbies.
Yeah.
Usually if you find yourself enjoying something, that's where you're most yourself. You know what I mean? And speaking from experience, I found something that I really enjoyed and I thought I was on the road to getting good at. So it made me feel good about myself. Having that, just making me feel good, boosting self-esteem a little bit, and just allowing myself to be myself, let me genuinely not attract, but genuinely, I guess, attract attention from people who I would want to be friends with. And it's important that you're comfortable being yourself around your friends, because if you have to be fake around your friends all the time, you're going to get tired out, you're going to burn out, and ultimately they're not going to know who you actually are, right?
Yeah, no, that's for sure.
I do agree with her that it is harder to make friends once you're past 20.
Mm-hmm.
Like, obviously, Gerald and Silas I've met during high school, right? And those, for me, a lot of my high school friends have been my like lifelong best friends, right? Silas and Gerald here, and obviously David and other people.
Yeah.
It's not impossible, right? I have met people in university when I was older, but again, they're very seldom, like one or two after university. It's just me, right? It's my personal experience.
Right.
I think you're doing a very good job on especially going to your hobbies and things that you enjoy. I also feel like, though, because you mentioned this, and I'm not saying bad things, but it feels like when you said they don't follow me or DM me, it feels like you're just looking to get that attention more instead of actually hanging out with friends that have the same hobbies as you. But I believe you're doing a good job, right? If you wanted like a big advice from what I would do is go online with other platforms, not just Twitter. There's Facebook. Obviously, groups have things that hobbies are big there.
Yeah.
If you play video games, Twitch, if you see any streamers there, I'm not tooting my own horn. I'm not going to do a shameless plug here, but I have an amazing community. I do stream. I have an amazing community at Discord that talk to each other and we just talk about random things. And it was great, right? If you can join one of those, that's another thing you can actually just talk to. Like, it's not like all of us have the same hobbies. We're all here just to have a good time, watch the stream or just talk to each other and learn about each other, right? Gerald streams too, so if you join his community, but there's so many communities out there that you can join and just be part of. Now, you might not get a DM like you're expecting to, but if you are just part of the conversation, isn't that helping? Right?
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah. It can only work up to a certain point. Like, in regards to like the quarantine and everything, and definitely making things harder, especially in some parts of the world.
Yeah.
But what I found, especially making like either lifelong relationships or even especially because people have to meet usually face to face. I would say meeting, heck, even joining like a sports group, picking up a sport, something really small. There are groups that have like adults only, so you can meet with people like around your age, especially like on like a weekly basis, depending on the type of sport that you do. And yeah, you can definitely make friends that way for sure. Like I definitely met quite a few friends and developed relationships with through the sports that I have done throughout the years. And I still talk to them every now and then. But it develops a rapport with the people that you have met directly through this sports or face-to-face contact. It's more personable, I would say, than just like Facebook online groups, unless you guys are planning to meet face-to-face eventually.
Yeah.
There's like hiking groups or like, just like any type of activity, walking groups, biking groups.
Yeah.
But yeah, and especially like how she said she was expecting DMs or tweets. That's kind of like on a passive route. She has to like be a bit more active, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I 100% agree with you, Silas. The reason why I said like kind of like Facebook first is because she did mention she was shy. And at this point, you have the animosity of the screen, right? No one's going to know exactly who you are. It might get you more outgoing first online. And then, once you meet people in real life, and I believe you should meet people in real life eventually, then, they'll probably be like, okay, she's probably shy because we're meeting the first time, and they'll be more understanding, right? Eventually, once they, peel that onion, they'll get to know the real you. And then, obviously you guys can become friends and so forth. That's why I mentioned the online first, but I do agree with Silas though, especially even online, I think you should be the one reaching out. I mean, even if you don't get DMs, there's no rule why you can't, DM them. Right. Or follow them first. But I'm assuming you follow them, but you can always DM them out of the blue and say, hey, how's your day going? How's your week going? Just check up on them. Right.
Yeah. Just be active. A good one definitely is be active on smaller Twitch streams, Twitch chats. Because streamers know that if you're more active with their chat, that it's more appealing for people to watch them, right?
Yeah.
Because then like, oh, we get the attention from the guy presenting, So then at that point, like Silas said, you build a rapport with people, and eventually, like you, as the streamer grows, this is just a very specific example, but as they grow, you get to network within the other people in the chat. It's as a very specific example. But pulling back here, a lot of our conversation seems to circle around interests and hobbies and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, 100%.
And I think that it's important because it automatically gives you something in common with the people around you. You know what I mean? Like you join a class, you join a cooking class. Oh, you have something to talk about. Hey, how did you make this sauce? Whatever. You know what I mean? There's something always to talk about because you experience something together. And I think that's the important thing.
Yeah, I would say that for sure. Oh yeah, especially kind of rounding back to making like sometimes friends in like post-secondary, making friends like especially after 21. Sometimes you have to struggle through like the same courses together, and like you could ask each other around, and yeah, you kind of develop a relationship that way too. Exactly. It's like there are opportunities. You just have to like know how to take them. That's the thing. If you sit around passively, then and like wait for the world to go, like the world to like come to you, that's not going to happen. You have to go to it. You have to walk towards it.
Yeah, and just like any skill, right? This is a social skill, and just like any skill, practice makes perfect.
Oh yeah, that's for
so
sure.
You have to just. It's gonna feel uncomfortable. Just like talk to people, whatever way you can.
And I just want to say that, I think she's trying, but she's shy, right? So it's
Right.
easier said than
Yeah.
done
Oh, yeah.
than what we say. But I do agree with Silas and Joe. You got to get out there,
Mhm.
right? The more you're out there, the more you're interacting with people, and the more common, I guess, situation you guys are in, the better you're going to connect. Right?
Yeah.
And again, if you're shy, you're doing a great thing about using online platforms to do it and eventually move on to people. It's, COVID kind of an issue in a lot of other countries other than here. So obviously be careful with that. But there's nothing wrong with making a lifelong friend that's halfway across the world. Right?
Yeah.
You could be pen pals. And, personally, I've definitely seen people who will start a relationship online. Right. And I've seen a relationship where they have, sent photos back and forth like selfies. And I've seen relationship where we have never seen each other, but only heard their voices. Right. Some people can do it. Some people can't, but doesn't mean you can't be the one. Right. And one, just to wrap it up for me, anyways, is you're 21 years old. Right. You're going to start a career soon. And maybe those people will become your lifelong friends because a lot of people make friends when they're working. Right, you guys are doing the exact same job. You guys will know what the cons and pros of that job is.
Yeah.
So you have your commonality there. So 21, I know it seems like a lot of people around 21 have best friends, but you have your whole life ahead of you. So just don't rush into it. Right,
Yeah.
Don't beat yourself up because you feel like you're friendless.
Everyone has their own pace, right? So, and there's 7 billion people in the world. There's zero chance that you're not going to meet someone that you like. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
As long as you actually go and try and like John said, it's hard if you're shy, but no pain, no gain.
Any last words for the exat girl hours, Silas?
Just be willing to step out of your comfort zone. That's as biggest advice I can give you. That's all I can do.
That is a big one.
All right. For the third one, this one is from Throw Away Reno.
Okay.
Throw Away Reno.
This might-
Title is, and this one's a little bit more of the serious one, is Did my girlfriend, who's 21 years old, just sexually assault me? And I'm 20 years old. Happened a couple hours ago. I don't know if I'm overreacting. I just feel crappy right now. My girlfriend drank earlier and didn't get drunk, but kind of tipsy and wanted to have sex. I said, no, I'm not comfortable doing that while she's intoxicated. We've been together for only 2 months and haven't talked about consent in that scenario yet, and I would feel uncomfortable doing anything. She put her hand down my pants 4 or 5 times, and I kept telling her no and explaining why I don't want to and pulling her hand out. She eventually stopped, but started again a little later, and I used our safe word and she stopped again. She started one last time and I finally got her to stop once she asked if I really didn't want to do anything, but this is after her still trying to jerk me off again. But by this point, I didn't feel the greatest and I cried. She asked if I was crying and I told her, she asked if I was crying and I told her that when I use a safe word and she needed to stop, but she didn't do anything. And that was the reason why I cried. I said I was upset and she said, sorry, I felt that way. She eventually apologized a little, but later she still feels like she didn't do anything. I'm really at a loss here and help would be appreciated.
Yeah, I can cut this short. It's like straight up like sexual assault right there. Especially when he gave a no. Yeah, it should have stopped right there.
A no multiple times.
Yeah, especially in regards to that.
Multiple times and then a safe word
And then
that
a
they
safe
had
word.
together.
That's like, and they both agreed on beforehand. She was and not that it's an excuse, but she wasn't even drunk. So there's no way that like she was incoherent, that she didn't understand. She had a little bit of alcohol and got frisky. He didn't want to, and she didn't accept that. And ultimately, that's assault, sexual assault.
Yeah, being inebriated doesn't like give you an excuse like just
Exactly.
to, like, have actions like that. You can't blame it on the alcohol.
There's no excuse here for her.
No,
There's no excuse.
That's straight up sexual assault right there.
Yeah, the biggest thing I'm feeling is why the double standard? I guarantee you, if it was a guy doing this to a girl, everyone would be like saying, go to the cops, report him, get him to go to jail, prison, whatever. But from the concern, she's just letting it just drift off to space like nothing ever happened. Right? Because he did say that it feels like she didn't do anything wrong. Well, he feels that she thinks nothing happened, nothing went wrong.
Well,
Right.
if we flipped it around, I don't know, but I feel like there'd be a lot of male sexual offenders that at some point don't feel like they did anything wrong. I'm sure anyone in this situation, having been given that description, would say that she did something wrong.
Yeah.
I definitely, I would say like 100% of the people I know anyway would be like, yeah, she did something wrong.
Yeah, she's 100% wrong. But
Yeah.
I think I agree with you on that. If you're the who's doing the act, you'll be like, well, I didn't feel like I do anything
Yeah.
wrong. But like, again, it goes both ways, right? Sexual assault isn't just, man going to woman. It can be other way. I think
Of
that's
course.
a lot of people have a misconception of that, I think, still, because the men are the stronger, sex or whatever, right?
That is the stupidest stigma I've ever heard.
And I agree with you, but I'm sure that there's still people that think like that.
Yeah. Otherwise, it wouldn't be an issue, right?
Yeah.
I've definitely heard enough people complain about. I can't cite any sources, but I've read stories of guys getting assaulted, similar situation to this, and they would get laughed at. They'd be like, "Guys can't get raped."
Yeah, right? Like, what is that?
This is almost kind of the situation with Johnny Depp and Amber Heard right now, actually.
I don't know the details about that. I don't know. I just know it's a huge mess.
That's actually pretty true. Yeah.
Yeah. That's because like I don't know. It's like there's like circulating stories around right now, but like in the beginning, initially, even Johnny Depp got dropped off of Warner Brothers for Harry Potter, like the Grindelwald
I heard
series,
about that.
mainly because like Amber Heard like threw up like a sexual assault trial case, but now it's still ongoing, and Amber Heard is like getting the boot thrown at her, or like the book thrown at her in regards to that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a huge double standard in regards to that, but it's just like a stigma I think that existed since like the 1940s or something like that. It's just like, again, how John said, like men being like the stronger sex. There is a bit of a stigma that leans towards female cases, or towards a female in regards to sexual assault cases, because people / the jury don't really see the men being assaulted or can't be assaulted by women.
Because they have the ability to resist.
Ability to resist or self-defend, or they're just like technically stronger. That's the stigma that still exists, I'm pretty sure.
That's beside the point, though.
And it's stupid.
It's so dumb.
It's so stupid.
Men can't be raped. Like what is that?
Yeah, there has been like numerous cases, especially surrounding that, but it's just like it's usually one-sided directly for the female. It like leans towards like the female in regards to these cases. Same with like any type of like family affairs, divorces. Sometimes the female get like they get more it's like leans more towards them on like the cases.
Mm-hmm.
You get more benefits out of it, sort of thing.
Yeah, I have seen that kind of like numerous times, but it just exists, unfortunately, and
That's dumb.
like as like society moves on and like continues to grow, there has been like chances of like people are both like trying to balance it out and trying to be more fair, but again, it's still kind of like one-sided at the moment.
And I mean, going back to more of the concern here is that, I mean, I'm sure you love your girlfriend, but it's been 2 months in. You've been dating for 2 months, and she's like disrespecting your boundaries like that. And you gave her a good reason too, right? Like, I think any guy would be uncomfortable, they would feel like they're taking advantage of someone if the person's intoxicated.
Yep.
Right? Or whatever. Right? But 2 months, like, do you really want to continue this relationship? We all agree that he was, like, you were sexually assaulted. Now you have to decide, like,
what's that worth to you?
Yeah, can you continue on this and see if, like, can you pretend like nothing happened and just move on? Right?
My vote is no. But
yeah,
I mean,
it's a straight up no. Yeah,
that's, I guess, your decision still. But if you're asking for my advice, I'm gonna say no. Just get out of there.
Yeah, like 4 or 5 times you use a safe word that you guys both agreed upon, and she kept doing it, dude. Yeah, she's literally disrespecting you in the face. She's literally spitting you in the face, pretty much. It's like the figuratively, word for word, I'm spitting you in the face.
Yeah.
Right. And if you think you can forgive that and move on, and you actually love this girl that much and you think she can change, then all the right to you. I hope for the best for your relationship. But personally, if I was in the situation, yeah, no, dude, I'd be like, yo, you just literally spat in my face.
Yep.
You can go home.
To
Bye.
say the least.
Yeah.
Just for the record, if your significant other has to change for you to continue on the relationship, there probably isn't much of a relationship there.
Not
Like,
worth it.
If you're like,
yeah.
hey, you will be continuing to be my girlfriend if you do this, this, and this, and it's not something that she's like, that's part of who she is, then you have the wrong person, buddy pal.
You actually make a pretty good point. I actually didn't even think about that. That's a pretty good point. Yeah. I mean, there's minor things you can ask to change. Yeah.
There's minor
Can
things.
you pick up the socks? Can you? Yeah,
No,
things
yeah.
like that. Yeah, but
But if it's like something innate, something big that's worth a lot, like a big value to you, then yeah, there's not much you can do there.
I would say that pretty much wraps it up perfectly.
Yeah.
Right? If you're telling someone to change for the relationship, it's probably not the right person
Yeah.
for you. Silas?
Yeah, no, especially if 2 months in, drop this relationship before it gets expensive. Like,
I like that.
Before it gets expensive.
Yeah,
That's a good one. Yeah.
drop this relationship, man. Yo.
All right. Going to the fourth and last one. This one is by Lizzie. Title is Jail Time? ? I thought I'd share my story and see what y'all think. A couple years ago, I met up a guy on Tinder. We went out and, well, hooked up. We stopped talking, which, like, happens. I'm not mad about it. But last week, I randomly get a message from him asking how life was. And on and on. They talk, but eventually, he goes and he says, oh yeah, I was in jail last time we talked. Hope you're doing great. That took me by surprise. Like, what the heck kind of joke is the universe playing on me? I haven't made any comments about meeting him or hooking up again because, like, he was good, but not that good. But now he won't leave me alone. And also, he's also sending me some creepy stuff on social media. Do you guys have any advice on how to get this guy off my back?
Does he know where she lives and stuff like that?
I don't think, I mean, we don't know. We can't assume
Okay.
that, but let's just assume that he doesn't. Because, I mean, they met on Tinder. They probably met in a public area like most people do.
Okay. But they hooked up.
Yeah.
I mean, it could have been his house
That's true.
before he went to jail.
That is, oh my God. That's yeah, especially if you like understand or like learn the fact that like your person you're seeing just went to jail. That's like a truck hitting you, basically.
Well, it's not like you're seeing that person.
Yeah, I
that
was
thinks,
gonna say.
yeah, it's just, they just hooked up, right? It's a one-time thing.
Pretty generous to call him someone she's seeing.
Yeah.
That's okay. Yeah, that part's true.
All
That's
Here's the question. Could you meet someone that went to jail? Whatever the reason might be.
Is this that? Well, that's not what this is though. They hooked up. He went to jail.
Yeah.
And then she found out that he was in jail, but he no longer is when they were talking.
Yeah, but I'm just curious if you could meet someone and if that person was in jail.
Honestly, I'd be kind of scared, man.
Yeah, I wouldn't. What about you, Silas? Would you?
ooh, that's
She would have to be like really good.
Well, apparently this Lizzie was like, he's okay. He's good, but not that good, right? So
yeah, that's a no. That's a no.
that's a no, yeah.
That's too spooky, man. Like, what if it's like murder? What if it's there's something that the law didn't agree with, and I'm like, hey, you know what? The law's pretty good.
Right? Like, and I mentioned the part where like it doesn't whatever the reason might be, because even if someone went to jail on parking tickets, because that's possible, right? Like
Minor between like minor or something major. That's a thing.
but even so, right? Even if it's minor, for me, if you went to jail for just parking tickets, it kind of speaks about your character.
Yeah,
Like
definitely.
how lazy or how forgetful are you to go to jail on parking tickets? It's a minor infraction, but like still, right? Like I don't know. I just can't. But going back on topic, this guy's sending in creepy things.
Oh, what if that person went to jail because of like mistaken identity? Because that did happen before. That does happen.
I wouldn't meet that person ever. Right. But going back on topic, this person is sending creepy stuff to Lizzie. What should she do about it?
Assuming he doesn't know anything about her physical location, the fancy little feature in most of these apps, like you can block them.
Yeah,
Block
there's
the number. That's what I would do.
yeah. Worst comes to worst, if like yeah, there's like so many things that you can do to like cut off a person for sure. Like
Yeah.
either cut off social media, change your number if it comes to it.
Oh man.
That's like kind of like a last case scenario
Yeah.
for sure. But
I mean, you can just block them.
or,
I've blocked people
exactly,
for
yeah.
less. I'll be honest.
Yeah, you know what?
Do you have any friends that went to jail? Do you have any friends that
No,
went to
I
jail?
don't.
No, I don't have anyone that went to jail.
I don't know
Not that I
anyone.
know of.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, no.
block them.
That's, if you don't care, I mean, if you don't want to be, I mean, I would be the mean girl, right?
Yeah.
Just block him and everything. You don't have to talk to him. If you don't want to be that mean, then you're gonna have to live with that. If he's sending you creepy stuff, then either you can look at it, not look at it. That's up to you. But we're saying that just cut her off. Cut that thing off.
I'm not even saying that she should block him because he went to jail. I'm saying she should block him because he's making her uncomfortable.
Exactly.
That's with like anyone, like especially developing like relationship with anyone. Yeah, definitely cut off the people who are toxic to your life.
Yeah. There's not enough time.
Not
for
worth
that.
the effort, basically. Yeah.
It's not worth the time.
Yeah. There's
Right?
there's not enough time for that.
But if you want to continue that, that's up to you. I say cut it off.
Yeah.
Gerald
Me-
says cut it off.
Yeah. Just
Maybe stay at your parents for a bit in case he knows where you live or whatever. But, you know, just this guy, again, it's not even because he went to jail. It's because he's being creepy to you and being like not a pleasant person.
I don't know, dude. If someone told me someone tells me that I went to jail, I don't know. I think I would just be like, yo, you went to jail. Like what?
Would you block them immediately? What if I
No.
went to jail for something?
No.
And then I text you and I don't get a response. Should I just assume that you blocked me?
oh my.
No. I think let's clear that out. I don't think it should be like that, but like, I mean, like obviously, Gerald, you would have a relationship, and if you went to jail, it's probably something like it's like super stupid, right? Like something super stupid, right? Then obviously, I'd be like, you know, it happens. Like life is the way, right? What's life without going to prison once in a while, right? So like, then I'd be okay with that,
Yeah.
right? But you know, if I was someone like some random junior high or high school dude or girl that's like, you know, I met a couple times in class, but didn't really have a rapport or have a real relationship, I'd be like, yeah, I mean, like, you tell me you went to jail and you keep texting me, yeah, block right away. 100%.
Fair.
I'd be like, why are you telling me you went to jail? Like, I don't care. Block
I don't know,
right
some
away.
people like that. Oh, some people like the bad boy. You never know. But no, stay away from that.
I wouldn't stay. Go for nice guys, right? I mean,
We finished last because we let you go first.
Oh my goodness.
that is an amazing point. Well, I think we wrapped up. Let's do a quick review of all four situations. The first one was loves to watch me work out. Silas, you want to wrap that up? Just 1 or 2 sentences to wrap up.
That's like a straight up like solar size red flag. Just
Solar size.
Yeah.
yeah, just drop that relationship again. Especially if it like crosses your boundaries. Communicate, but if it doesn't come to it, then if it doesn't come to the result that you want, then just drop it for sure.
2 words from me: save yourself.
Yeah.
All right. Second one, Gerald, you want to wrap this up? It's I feel like a loser asking this, but I need advice making friends.
Get out of your comfort zone and find something you enjoy. If you're surrounded by the people that enjoy the same thing you do, it's going to be easier to make connections.
Sweet. Third one was, did my girlfriends just sexually assault me? All 3 of us agree yes. Do you want to continue this? I wouldn't. Gerald wouldn't. Silas wouldn't. So you make the decision.
Up to you.
Oh my goodness. Live your life.
Yeah. And last but not least,
my God.
Lizzie. Yeah, I block him pretty hard.
There's a,
Yeah, he went to jail.
I don't think it's particularly hard to block people nowadays.
Yeah. I don't think particularly people care enough to be like, you blocked me? I'm going to find you. I guess it depends on what jail time he did for.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like,
yeah, what if?
what if you went to jail from like stalking someone, you know?
That's
That's why I'm saying stay at your parents' house for a bit.
Yeah, you know,
Get a big dog.
if you're going to go out and do that, just do it at his house or the like other person's house. Don't put your house at
Yeah.
risk.
So
even then, going to the other person's house might be dangerous.
that's true because then it's their home turf, you know?
That's true. But and again, don't meet people that went to jail. Simple as that.
Don't meet sketchy people.
I don't know, man.
Again, now we're so
No.
connected with online though, right? Like
Yeah.
just one swipe and you're like, you got a match. Oh, we should meet up and get some. I don't know.
It's hard to say though, because there's some good people that actually get reformed after leaving prison, leaving jail.
Yes, and I agree with you on that. Yeah.
But it is a bit of a stain, I would say.
Yeah. And you made the good points. The fact that he's making you uncomfortable rather than the fact that he went to jail.
Yeah.
So, cool. That concludes episode 5 of Penny for Our Thoughts.
We're chugging through these, man.
Yeah, I know. Hope you really enjoyed episode 5. Thank you very much, Silas, for coming on. Hope you enjoyed it. How'd you like it?
Oh, this was definitely enlightening. I learned a couple things, especially in regards to people, and especially with the troubles that they have. It's good. It's definitely good to have like an insight of how people kind of experience their lives and what they're going through. And yeah, especially kind of like learning this, you can definitely view people differently, growing wise and everything like that.
I agree.
Yeah.
And plus, it's nice to hear other people's problems instead of deal with my own sometimes, you know?
Yeah, you know what? That's a good point.
Yeah.
Thank you again for tuning in. If you want us to address your concerns, worries, or problems, please give us an email at givesometous@gmail.com. Again, it's just givesometous@gmail.com. We'll look over it and we will consider talking about it on the podcast. Again, thank you again from the bottom of our hearts. Thank you very much for tuning in and hope to see you guys again for episode 6.
See you guys next week. Be kind to each other.